All right, welcome back, everyone. This is Ebonie again, a.k.a. Fit Mom Diva of Simplicity Health Style. And today we have Miss LeShae with us. How are you, LeShae?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for taking time and speaking with us today. You guys, she has a little 1-year-old in the background, so you may hear a little kid's voice every now and then pop in, but that's okay. We're busy ladies, right?
Right.
So we're going to just go ahead and continue the interview, whether or not the 1-year-old pops into the screen or not. Anybody that chooses to stick around to the end, you will have an opportunity to earn a complimentary gift. So stick around and let's listen to what Miss LeShae has to say. So LeShae, can you start us off just so that we get to know a little bit about you and share a motivational quote that really inspires you, something that gets you going and encourages you?
So my main motivational quote for my everyday is "You're worth it." And as simple as, the words are, they really are really powerful to me, only because it's taken me some time to kind of get to the point where I can accept that I'm worth something. And so that definitely makes it a lot easier to get up in the morning and do my day-to-day tasks, just because at the end of the day, whatever I've done is for me, and I deserve it. So "You're worth it" is always my key go-to.
Yes, and all of us are worth it. Nobody is any better than the other person. Everybody is a human being and deserves respect, and we're all valuable. It's what you do with your life that determines whether or not people want to be around you or not. But we're
Right.
all worthy and we all have value and we all have significance. We all have gifts. Can you talk about a challenge situation in your life? Something where maybe you didn't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel and you had to overcome some obstacles. Some of those obstacles could just be your own worthlessness or feelings of worthlessness. Some of them could be external obstacles that got in the way or challenges that got in the way that you didn't foresee. But at the end of the day, you were able to bring that goal or that dream to fruition.
Um, so one of my challenges that I kind of reflect on a lot is, not to say that I reflect and I like dwell in that place, but kind of like to go back and see where I was versus where I am now, was finishing college. So I graduated from high school and I got accepted to one college that I wanted to go to, but the college that I really, really wanted to go to, I didn't get accepted. And I just remember like sitting in my bed one day crying and telling my mom, like, I'm not going to college. Like, I didn't get in. Like, they didn't even send me a rejection letter. I was so sad. But I ended up starting college at Coppin State University, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. And I did that for 2 years, and I got in this relationship and moved off campus and ended up having to leave school for 2 years, and I joined the military. And, there's that whole statistic that whoever leaves school doesn't really finish. But I was really determined to finish, and I actually ended up going back 2 years later, and I went to school for full 2 years. So fall, winter, spring, summer, and just wrote it out. And I graduated in 2.5 years. So, which is, sometimes a difficult task when you're a commuter student and you still got to work and you still got to, bills to pay and all of those things when life hits you.
Right.
But I finished and I graduated with my bachelor's. I transferred schools, but I did it, and I wasn't a quote unquote statistic. And, it's not even to say that if you didn't finish that there's a problem, but for me, it was just like, I kind of looked at myself differently when I wasn't in school. And I felt like, like that worthlessness kind of kicked in, like, well, what am I going to do with my life? Because of course my mom instilled in me like college is the only way. And at the time it was kind of like, well, I can't get a regular job. I can't, get a well-paying regular job because I don't have this degree or whatever at the time. And, you know, when that weight of feeling worthless kicks in, it's kind of hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, it's kind of hard to see, or even to just see the alternatives of going back to school, like becoming an entrepreneur and all of those things. It gets really cloudy and muddled. So, but yeah, that was like one of the biggest challenges for me.
Yeah, and I think that we can all identify with that in different areas of our life. It doesn't necessarily have to be college related, but we can identify with that in different areas as we go through life and as we interact with different people. And then sometimes we want to compare ourselves to other people, not knowing that you're comparing yourself to somebody that has a whole nother set of challenges that you wouldn't even want, you know?
Right.
So it's one of those things that you got to really just, you know, stay, I always say stay in your own lane and trust your own path and just move with it, you know? So I think that it's awesome that you were able to achieve what you were able to achieve, even while feeling like you were worthless. Because some people don't even achieve that with feeling the most confident and successful person ever, you know? So imagine what you can do if you do value yourself and you value your time and you want to stick with your end goal. So thank you for sharing that. Your little one's trying to get in on the interview too, I see, huh?
Yes.
You guys, as I said, she has a 1-year-old here that she's tending to right now, and it's okay if they want to say hi, they can say hi. I'm all for the little kids.
Get out.
Talk a little bit about your support system. Hi, sweetie.
You say hi.
Right now, speaking about support, right now she is actually supporting someone else by babysitting for them. Talk a little bit about your support system while you were undergoing challenges, and how does it help people to be able to find a good quality support system? And what can someone do if, say, for instance, they have a support system, but their support system doesn't necessarily know how to help them in the best way?
Okay, so my support system has come with time. I will say that first and foremost. Yeah, time definitely takes a toll on your support system, just because, like you said, some people may have it, but the people don't know how. What? Shh. Hold on 1 second. Yes. Okay. Sorry. So you just want to be nosy.
She can look at her face too.
Yeah, so that's all I do. But so support systems, they take time to build, just because people, you know, you may feel like one person is a support, but they really aren't. So you kind of have to figure that out. For me, my support system didn't come until I graduated from college. Because even my family, like, they were supportive as it pertained to education. Like, that was, you know, if it wasn't education related, they kind of weren't. All right. No, yeah, please. All right, bye-bye. I'll see you later. Don't put it in your mouth. Thanks. See you.
She is too cute.
Here, do this one. Play with that. There you go. Sorry. So time, and then my friends, they're supportive in their own ways. And so that's the key about support systems. That's what I was going to say. The key about support systems is knowing and understanding the person that is supporting you, you know, because even with support systems, they do have their limits. They have their own life agendas. And, you know, when you feel like, you know, they're not supporting you, it just may be a moment where they just are trying to support themselves
Yeah.
more so, and you kind of have to take the back burner and don't think of it or take it personal where, you know, you're upset with them and you don't want to be bothered. Don't do that. Just kind of give them their space. And that's why it's always good to have multiple levels of support.
Yeah, and that is so true, to have multiple levels of support, because if you rely on just one individual, they're not always going to be available, and they're not always going to be the strong person either. So if you can have multiple layers there and be able to find people that are trustworthy,
Yeah.
you know, that's the key distinction, that are trustworthy, then in those moments when X and Y are not available, we still have Z. I always say to also think about how we are taking care of ourselves, because in order for us to realize our dreams, we have to be very conscious of how much are we feeding our spirit. Are we giving to everybody else and have barely any time for ourselves? Or are we giving enough time to ourselves so that we can actually have enough energy and make steps toward our goal? So, for example, in this situation, we have a little 1-year-old here, and for many busy ladies, they are torn between taking care of the children and family and how much time they can devote to themselves, and then they feel like, I don't even know what my hobbies are. I don't even know when I'm going to brush my hair. I don't even know who I am as a person. You know, there's a lot of care for everybody else and not enough care for themselves. And sometimes they feel very selfish by taking time for themselves. So can you talk a little bit about maybe some self-care that you've done yourself and some challenges that maybe you even have with self-care and why it's important in order for us to realize our dreams?
Can I talk now? Thanks. So, as far as self-care goes, there are different things that I do. One thing is what she is playing with right now, and it's not only self-care, but it's also therapeutic for me. It's an adult coloring book.
Yes.
I love to color. It kind of gets me zoned out, put some good music on in the background, and just kind of spend that time, you know, focusing on something other than the rest of the world. Yeah, the rest of the world. And another thing that I do is, you can't get on the desk and say hi. You have to sit here. Mm-hmm. And another thing that I do, which is odd self-care, is so this is my goddaughter.
Yeah.
And so taking care of my godchildren.
You trying to tell us how she uses self-care.
Right?
You trying to steal your spotlight.
But taking care of my godchildren is self-care for me, just because I don't have children of my own. I have animal children, but I don't, you know, have children. And so this kind of like gives me a time where I don't have to like be so serious. I can be silly and I can be, you know, fun and goofy and get to like enhance another life while, you know, kind of enhancing my own. I love to do massages and mani-pedis and all those things, but I was told that, you know, you have to find things that are cost effective. And it's funny talking about self-care, because as far as her mom goes, her mom has started to kind of realize that, you know, she needed to do some self-care, especially with a 1-year-old. And what she likes to do, and this is for moms or dads, and she likes to why are you putting your feet up? She likes to put her to bed at a decent hour, and then she reads. You know, she takes a moment and just like reads her book while they're asleep. And that helps her to kind of get her me time in, because they're safe. You know, she's not worried about where they are. but they are safe enough so that they're quiet enough so that she has time to kind of focus in on a book. So I don't remember what she told me she was reading right now, but she just started. Come on. She just started reading again. So, all right.
Yeah, and one of the things that a lot of people that don't have children don't realize is that a child is just going to be a child. I mean, similar to your goddaughter right now, she's just doing her own thing, and they're not thinking in terms of you need your self-care, mom. You have to be the one to say, I'm going to delegate. I'm going to find someone that can help me so that I can infuse some type of self-care into my day. And it doesn't need to be 2 hours long. You know, 15 minutes, you know, take the time that they go to sleep and use that as your time to just take a bubble bath, or as you said, coloring your coloring book with some good music in the background, or, you know, go do some stretches. You like to do stretches, go do some stretches. It could be anything. I mean, people have, you know, different ideas of what self-care is, and it doesn't have to even cost any money, although it could. If you feel like manicure and pedicure is your self-care, well, then do it. But a lot of times you don't have to spend money in order to get that self-fulfillment from that experience that you're looking for. And don't be guilty if you can't do it every single day. All you can do is 2-3 days a week, because that's how your schedule allows. Then do that 2-3 days a week. It all adds up. Don't say, well, since I can't do it every day, I'm not gonna do it at all. You know, do it when you can and make some time to schedule it in. You'll see and feel the difference in your quality of life overall. I really appreciate you, LeShae. I know that, you know, you had your little distraction there, but I told them at the beginning not to worry, and I meant it, because some ladies that are listening, they're going to be like, I know exactly what she's talking about right now as far as self-care and having kids around. So this is a perfect example of what that looks like. Anybody that doesn't have children, you got a little dose right there. What this looks like when you have kids and you have to try to squeeze in time. My children are a little bit older now. I don't have any little babies anymore. My son is currently at this recording. My son is 12, going on 13, and my daughter is 9, going on 10. And they're a little bit independent, but I've always made sure that I had some quality time, just so that I could do what Ebonie wants to do. And it's a world of difference in the stress that you can release from your work day, from people getting on your nerves, the traffic you sitting in, just finding that quality time each day is so key for me.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
So like for me, I spend a lot of time in the car because I drive everywhere all the time. So what I've also found that is self-care is listening to audiobooks.
Yeah.
That is so fun. I've gone through like good 2 books so far because I just started. I'm on a 3rd book. I can't wait to get to the next book. Like, it's, you know, it's a very calming thing, and it kind of eases the tension of driving in general with all the traffic. If you're sitting in traffic, you kind of like lose track of time when you're listening to the book, if it's a good book. If it's something you don't want to listen to, then you may be a little distracted either way by traffic, but I do enjoy listening to books.
Yes. Podcasts, audiobooks, anything that is going to also feed your soul at the same time is good. You can listen to fiction, you can listen to nonfiction, you can listen to personal development, just anything that's going to make you feel good. I always say that, you know, it's not exactly you following what somebody else does that feels good. It's what feels good to you. So it looks different for everybody. The important thing is just get it in some kind of way. And by the end of the year, you'll see how much more time you devoted to yourself. And not only that, but a lot of times it gives you a sense of clarity and meaning to your life, so that you can begin to work on those purposeful steps that you want for yourself too. Yep. Any of you that are listening, if you feel like you want to share your experiences, that it may benefit someone, please connect with me. All of my contact info is in the description box. All of LeShae's contact info is in the description box. She's open to collaborations as well. And for anyone that's listening and you're struggling with self-care, you're struggling with identifying your gifts, your strengths, What is my purpose in this life? I have no clue. If you're asking yourself these questions, please connect with me. I have a few free resources, including assessments, where you can form a solid foundation. You can look at what your gifts are, what your strengths are, what are your work experiences, and how they can all intertwine together so that you can begin to move in a more purposeful direction. So reach out to me. If you join my Nutrition for Busy Women Facebook group, that's one way to get a hold of these resources, or just send me an email and we'll connect a different type of way. All of that info is in the description box. So LeShae, thank you so much. Any closing words that you want to give to ladies that are listening?
I guess I can close with my same quote, like, you're worth it. At the end of the day, whether it be self-care, challenges, kids, it's, you know, at the end of the day,
she laughing.
You're worth it, right? You're worth it. And you deserve everything. You deserve everything, you know, and just live your best life at all times, unapologetically.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are worth it, no matter what your experiences are, what someone said to you, what you look like, you're worth it regardless. Thank you so much for those last words. That's awesome. And anyone that, like I said, wants to share your experiences, please make sure you reach out to me. Share this content with someone else that you believe that can benefit, particularly busy ladies with children, because we have an awesome example right here of what that might look like. So this is like so real. So thank you so much. And for those of you that would love to subscribe to my channel, we'll have future episodes on a variety of topics. And I would love to be able to collaborate with you in some way as well. So reach out to me and let's get together and help each other in this world. You guys, wherever you are in the world, just always remember to live a life full of meaning and purpose. And I'll connect with you very soon. Talk to you soon. Bye.